gonna go see that tonight, I think. But
Once again, my name is Dory and our driver is Mike! Inside at all times. Exact weathers are as strict as possible. On the driver's side, soundstage 25 is where we filmed the interior scenes for the hit television series Murder, She Wrote. On my side is where the lines form for the Jurassic Park River Adventure. It's not very crowded there yet today, so it's probably not a very long way. On the driver's side, you might want to look in the open door at soundstage 25 as we go past. And this and a few of our other sound stages just a few months ago, we filmed scenes for the new Jim Carrey movie, Liar, Liar, in which Jim Carrey has to tell the truth for 24 hours when his son's birthday wish comes true. We have another open door of a soundstage over on the driver's side, and on my side, soundstage 28 is the oldest one here, and this soundstage we filmed the original Phantom of the Opera in 1925, and the sets are still inside there today. In front of us now, soundstage 27 on the other side of these trucks is where we had the NASA Command Center for the movie Apollo 13. In there right now, there are sets for a new John Travolta movie called Primary Killers, being directed by Mike Nichols, co-starring Billy Bob Thornton. On my side, you might see this yellow sign that says Crook and Chase. The TV talk show Crook and Chase has moved from Nashville here to Universal. Speaking of television, coming up on my side of the tram are sound stages in which we film or tape sitcoms. Situation comedies. Something So Right is done here in stage 41, starring Jerry Burns and Mel Harris. Another long-running sitcom that was done here is Coach, which stars Craig T. Nelson as Hayden Fox, along with Jerry Van Dyke and Shelley Fabre. We filmed that show here in stage 43, where we now have a new sitcom, The Tom Show, starring Tom Arnold. I thought we might do a little salute to Coach because 9 years is a pretty good run. And it would be appropriate to do the wave. Everybody ready? Okay, here we go. Woo! Oh, you're a wild bunch. Up on the hill on my side of the tram, you can see a side view of our Starway escalator. It has 4 levels, and that's how you can get down into our lower lot without a tram, where you'll find not only the Jurassic Park River Adventure, but also Backdraft, the World of Cinemagic, Lucy, a Tribute, and the E.T. Adventure. On my side now, our 480 building is our technical center. In this building, there's a mill, paint department, plastering department, a machine shop, and a special effects department. On the upper level, there are production offices where they set up the filming schedule for everything that shoots here in our lot. On the driver's side now, these 10 bungalows used to be dressing rooms for big stars like Humphrey Bogart, Ford McCall, Lucille Ball, Marilyn Monroe, and Alfred Hitchcock. These days, we use trailers for dressing rooms, so we now have production offices in these bungalows. On my side, there are production offices for the television series Sliders, which films here on our lot. You can see Sliders on Friday nights on the Fox network. This property was a chicken ranch in 1915 when Carl Laemmle bought it to start a studio here. But Mr. Laemmle didn't put all of his eggs in one basket. He kept a part of the property here operating as a chicken ranch, and when he invited people in to watch filming here, he would sell them eggs on their way out, just to be sure he got something out of his venture. Enter our backlot, and it will soon look like there are buildings on either side of us made out of brick and stone, but for the most part, they're just facades. a front and two sides of a building made out of lightweight materials like fiberglass and foam rubber. This street was San Francisco for the television series Ironside, which starred Raymond Burr, and Macmillan and Wife, which starred Rock Hudson and Susan St. James. The street we're turning onto now is where Lady Sings the Blues was filmed, which starred Diana Ross as blues singer Billie Holiday. And we're about to turn onto a street that was used by 20th Century Fox for filming Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. There was also a TV movie down here, The Women of Brewster Place, which starred Oprah Winfrey and was produced by her production company, Harpo Productions. Now, if you saw that movie, you might remember that the women knocked down a wall at the end of their street. That wall was right here in front of where I'm sitting now. And we have just turned onto the street on which Michael J. Fox as Marty McFly got his DeLorean up to 88 miles per hour. I don't think we're going to go that fast, but if you look on the driver's side at the top of that large building, you'll see the clock tower where Doc Brown harnessed the bolt of lightning that propelled Marty McFly back to the future. You might also recognize this courthouse building from the classic film To Kill a Mockingbird. It was the courthouse in which Gregory Peck defended his client in that movie, which co-starred young Mary Badham as Scout and introduced Robert Duvall to moviegoers in his first film role as Boo Radley. This area out on the driver's side was used for some of the scenes in Eddie Murphy's remake of The Nutty Professor, and it looked a lot different when it was used by Paramount Pictures for Escape from L.A., which starred Kurt Russell. The steps on the front of the courthouse there are the ones on which the River City Band came marching down, playing the number 76 trombones in the Warner Brothers musical, The Music Man, which starred Robert Preston, Shirley Jones, and a very young and awfully cute little red-headed boy named Ron Howard. Of course, he lost most of his hair as he grew up into the director of Splash, Backdraft, and Apollo 13. Let's see what kind of Happy Days fans you people are. You finish this. Sunday, Monday. Happy Day. Well, a few of you. Hey, we're about to cross New York Street, and you can look down either direction and see that New York Street curves at either end to give the illusion that it goes on farther than it really does and make it look like a really big city when you see it on film. Out here on our backlot, we do mostly exterior filming, but sometimes we need more control over lighting, sound, and weather than we can get outdoors, and we'll build part of a city inside a soundstage. And that's what we've done in the soundstage that we're going to take you into. Keep your cameras handy. Strange things have been going on here. face to face with King Kong in a confrontation with one of the largest animated creatures ever built for a movie. King Kong stands over 30 feet tall, and he weighs 13,000 pounds. 600 of that is synthetic fur. King Kong first appeared in 1933 with actress Fay Wray. Then he made a comeback in 1976 with a newcomer at that time named Jessica Lange. Since then, Miss Lange has become a two-time Academy Award-winning actress. Over on my side of the tram, we have our 747 stage, which has two complete airplane mock-ups inside it. The movie Airport was shot in there, as well as the airplane scenes for Columbia Pictures' When Harry Met Sally, which starred Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan. We're going to take you right down the length of New York Street now. Not only has this been New York in lots of movies and television shows, but also nearly every major city in the United States at some time. The street was used by DreamWorks recently for their very first feature film called The Peacemaker, starring George Clooney and Nicole Kidman. You might have seen icicles hanging off the buildings here if you had been here about, 7 weeks ago, because Warner Brothers was filming scenes for their new movie, Batman and Robin. Mr. Freeze had been here. That character is played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, whom you may have seen in a Christmas movie that was done here last year. 20th Century Fox's Jingle All the Way, which had a Christmas parade right down our New York streets. Another Christmas movie that was done here last year was a movie musical made for television called Mrs. Santa Claus, which starred Angela Lansbury, Charles Durning, and Michael Jeter. Back in the 70s, there was an Academy Award-winning picture done here. This was supposed to be Old Chicago for The Sting, which starred Paul Newman and Robert Redford. And it won the Best Picture of 1973. There was a fire in the metropolitan section of our backlot. Many of the facades around us now are fairly new because they had to be rebuilt after that fire destroyed the originals over here. We did the rebuilding with the help of Academy Award-winning designers and craftspeople, and with a little help from our friend Steven Spielberg. So we're taking you now from the new to the old. Coming up, that woman had long hair and they forgot to tie it down. So when they reversed the footage, it looked like her hair got to the bridge before she did. Whoops. Down on the driver's side, there are plant trees and greenhouses. In our greens department, we can import greenery from there to locations that don't grow their own. And then coming up on the driver's side, we have some picture cars and other large props to show you, starting with an army tank that was used in the movie Sergeant Bilko, which starred Steve Martin and Dan Aykroyd. Then we have some parking spaces, if anybody was looking for one. There they are. And we have some go-karts from the Little Rascals surrounding the A-Team van. Next we have several cars from the Back to the Future films, including one of 15 DeLoreans built for those movies. We have a Jeep from Jurassic Park, and then a couple of large telephones from The Incredible Shrinking Woman, which starred Lily Tomlin. One ringy dingy, oh my dear. Then we have a yellow submarine from Sequest DSV, as we're taking you into Bedrock, the home of the Flintstones and the Rebels. This house on the driver's side was Betty and Barney Rubble's house for the Flintstones movie that starred John Goodman, Rick Moranis, and Rosie O'Donnell, who brought her TV talk show here to Universal in February to do 2 weeks of taping. You may sing along if you'd like. On the driver's side now we have water vehicles from Waterworld, the action-adventure film that starred Kevin Costner and inspired our Waterworld Live SeaWorld Spectacular. This miniature bridge was used for an exciting scene in Dante's Peak. Then we have a miniature log cabin here. Hey, listen to Dino at the end of this song. Dino, what a cutie. And we have a big guy here, Paul Bunyan and his Blue Ox Babe from the Great Outdoors. They were props by the restaurant in that film. Down in front of us now, this road was turned into the Appian Way for the movie Spartacus by throwing dirt over the asphalt to make it a dirt road. And then we marched hundreds of Roman soldiers down this road. Well, okay, they weren't really Roman soldiers. They were actually much scarier than that. They were L.A. college students. And if you look closely, you can see watches and tennis shoes on some of our Roman soldiers. I guess they weren't history majors. Or at least not good ones. Well, you know, some guy tried to tell me there would be a 50-50 chance of rain in this part of our backlot today. Now, I don't know what this guy was talking about. It's a warm, sunny day, and I don't think it's going to rain anywhere around here. They're probably hauling that guy away right now. Oh my goodness, look at that. On the driver's side, it is pouring down rain, but on my side, it's still nice and dry. I guess that is 50-50. But you might want to aim your cameras up the hill on the driver's side and be ready for anything. When it rains here, sometimes flash floods happen rather quickly. I think there could be one coming now. And while we're stopped here for a moment, you can stand up to get a better view or a picture if you'd like to. Whoa! Look out for that tree. You have just witnessed movie making magic here at Universal Studios. We create the rain by putting sprinklers up in trees and on the tops of facades to shoot water up in the air so it falls down naturally like rain. For the flash flood effect, we keep thousands of gallons of recycled water in tanks up on the hill. We can just open a gate to create a flood whenever we want to. This type of effect was used in the movie The River. Oh, look at that tree. Oh, my goodness, it just popped back up into place. You know, that tree is made out of a very special kind of wood that's only available in this part of the country. We call it Hollywood. This area was Tijuana for the silent television series when the brothers traveled across the border. It was also the location for the film Three Amigos, which starred Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, and Martin Short. We're about to cross the border out of Mexico into Texas. Yeah! On my side of the Tram, this here livery stable was featured in a film called My Little Chickadee, which starred W.C. Fields and Mae West. Ooh. In that movie, W.C. Fields was about to be hanged by the townspeople, and Mae West shot the rope and saved his life. Ooh. So that he could come up and see her sometime. Well, the road that we're on right now is named after one of the toughest cowboy actors of all time. This is John Wayne Road. We've brought you many Western movies that were done in this area, and also some Western television series, including Laramie, The Virginian, and Alias Smith and Jones. You might notice as we sit here, the doors on either sides of the street. Some of those are bigger than usual, some smaller. That's because we want our cowboy actors to look as big and tough and brawny as they possibly can be, so we film them beside doors that are smaller than usual. And the ladies always want to look dainty and petite, so they stand beside doors that are bigger than normal. In front of us, there's a lake now. It was the Pacific Ocean for the McHale's Navy television series, and a new McHale's Navy movie, which stars Tom Holland and Tim Curry. Now, our special effects guys usually have a little surprise for us over here on my side as we're passing through this area. I hear something. Whew, that was a little close for comfort. Maybe I better talk to those guys after our tour. They may need to work out a few kinks on that one. The new movie, McHale's Navy, even has a role in it for Ernest Borgnine, the original McHale. That movie opened in theaters about 3 weekends ago. On the driver's driver's side, we have the line of state skates from Back to the Future, and on my side, there's a colorful boat from our Weird Science television series on the USA Network. Then we have some rusty army trucks from the movie MacArthur, which starred Gregory Peck. We are now in our property graveyard. Here at Universal, we don't believe in throwing things away because, well, you just never know when you might need to use something again. So when we think we're done with some of our larger props, we just stick them out here in our backlot. And then if we need to use one of those again, we can just retrieve it. And if it's gotten a little rusty, we just throw on a new coat of paint to make it look good on film again. Whoa! Our special effects guys are getting closer. Well, speaking of the Ten Commandments, this is the Red Sea. Look in front of us. We're going to have to part this sea before we can cross it. I'll be needing your help for this. Now, the way that we part the Red Sea here at Universal is we stick our arms out toward the water, and on the count of 3, we're going to say together, "Part the waters." Can you remember that line? Okay, this is your screen test, so let's make it good. Here we go. Motivation, getting across here. All right, arms out. 1, 2, 3, part the waters. And that worked out so well, I'm going to let you people do something else now. Everybody point right at me and say, "Win the lottery." Hey, your motivation for that is getting to split it with me because I'm a very generous person. You'll probably recall that the Red Sea was parted by Charlton Heston as Moses in the 1956 Paramount film, The Ten Commandments. And when we go across, it won't be completely dry, so if you have anything on the floor that shouldn't get wet, you might want to grab it quick before we go across, and then stay prepared. There could be more water just around the corner. You can't trust us. We got to get away from our special effects guys. Hey, look, we've got some ducks over here on the driver's side. Those are our stunt ducks. They're learning they're working here as well. It's quacked up to be. Coming up on the driver's side, there's a fenced-in area. There are a lot of props in there. Some of those have tags on them because our directors and set decorators can place tags on props that they select for their next film, so nobody will walk away with those before they get a chance to use them. Right now, we're headed up into Europe. Well, it's Little Europe. You might recognize this cobblestone street from the Castle Rock pictures, City Slickers. It was Pamplona, Spain, where Billy Crystal and his buddies were chased by live bulls. This area can represent any country in Europe just by changing the languages on the signs here. In fact, this was France for an episode of Beverly Hills 90210 when Brenda and Donna went on vacation. Aaron Spelling Productions didn't really send them to Europe, just across town to our backlot. On my side of the tram, we're arriving at the Court of Miracles, named after the film The Miracle Man, which starred Lon Chaney Sr., who was known as the Man of 1,000 Faces. Every Universal monster has appeared here in this court at some time. Monsters like Dracula, Frankenstein, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, the Wolfman, the Mummy. And look, in front of that fountain, it's him! It's the Invisible Man. Hey, did you get a picture of him? He's posing with Casper. They're looking very friendly today. 2 for the price of 1. Now, where else can you get a deal like that? Especially on monsters. Now, I've had some people tell me that Elvis hangs out here sometimes too, but I haven't seen him myself. And the monster films are always very exciting. Speaking of exciting movies, we're going to take you to visit the set of an exciting movie that's currently in production. We're going to wind around until we arrive at Soundstage 50, which is a 2-level soundstage, the only one of its kind in the world. And when it's our turn, we'll be entering the lower level where we have recreated a subway train station. But as you see, there's another tram entering there now, so it'll be a while before it's our turn. Right now, on my side of the tram, we have some very lovely flowers, some bougainvillea. If you'd like to take pictures of those, I would if I had my camera with me. You also might want to keep your eyes open as you're traveling around on our lot because you might see some of our celebrity look-alike characters, such as Lucy Ricardo, Clark Gable, Groucho Marx. Uh, Here we go. See, it didn't take long after I started that sound. Notice all the detail that's gone into making this look like a real subway train station. We've got newspaper vending machines here, and there are ticket vending machines. There's signs on the walls and pom-poms on the walls here, too. Please be seated in the second car in this soundstage. Please stay seated at all times. Now we have benches where people will sit and wait for the trains to come in and go out. We've got ticket turnstiles. Got it. Right, folks, it's just one of our California after shots. Happen every now and then around here. It's yeah, most time. On my side, the sidewalk is buckling up. Side. That was probably the worst of it. And we can get out of here now. Uh-oh. On my side, what are we going to do? We're going to be flooded if we stay in here. We might get drowned. Congratulations, you have just played a role in the most sophisticated live special effect ever created. Earthquake, the big one, simulates an 8.3 earthquake. It was inspired by the motion picture Earthquake that starred Charlton Heston. That scene only takes 30 seconds to recycle. Well, you may be a little shook up after everything we've been through together, so we're taking you to a very peaceful spot now. As I've been hearing about sharks in these waters. We can just... Oh my goodness, that looks like a shark across the lake now. It is. And it's turning toward George. I gotta get George out of there. Oh, George, why don't you ever listen to me? Yuck! George never would listen to a woman. Oh, we've had a crew that's been trying to catch the shark. They put bait on that yellow buoy that's tied to there. Look, the shark's taking the bait. Hang on! The shark's right by me. Look out! You have just survived Jaws. If you look back behind you, you'll see that our shark is the only one in the world that can do the backstroke. And if any of the young children or you tender-hearted folks were really concerned about George, you can look back across the lake and see George back out there fishing again. They say you can't keep a good man down. Also across the lake, there's a great view of Cabot Cove, the home of Jessica Fletcher, played by Angela Lansbury in Murder, She Wrote. Now, we have had the final season of Murder, She Wrote, but if you're an Angela Lansbury fan, you'll be happy to know that currently there is a 2-hour TV movie of Murder, She Wrote in production. Angela Lansbury's career began when she was a teenager in a film called Gaslight. Then she played Elizabeth Taylor's older sister in Nashville Velvet. She's been in lots of movies, 12 seasons on television, and she even won 4 Tony Awards for her roles in Broadway musicals, including Meg and Sweeney Todd. From the movie musical, The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, this is Miss Mona's Chicken Ranch. That movie starred Burt Reynolds and Dolly Parton. But if the casting had gone differently, you might have seen Willie Nelson and Shirley MacLaine as the sheriff and Miss Mona. You're going to see more houses now as we take you on to Colonial Street. I'll be pointing out houses on the driver's side as we enter here. This first house was the sorority house in National Lampoon's Animal House. Next door, the greenish house with brick trim is where Jimmy Stewart lived with his invisible rabbit friend Harvey. And the gray house next to that was the home of the Munsters for that television series. This yellow house next to the Munsters house is where the Hardy Boys lived. Later on, Lassie lived there. The house on the driver's side now is where Doris Day lived with James Garner in The Thrill of It All. Across on the driver's side, this colonial mansion was built for the film Uncle Tom's Cabin. It was also the sanitarium in the movie Harvey. In front of us is a gray church. It was the community church in Cabot Cove the last few years. Once upon a time, it was Eddie Munster's schoolhouse. As we come around the curve, you can look back across on the driver's side where you'll see a red brick building with white doors. That was Beaver Cleaver's schoolhouse for the television series Leave It to Beaver, which starred Jerry Mathers and Tony Dow. We've been making a lot of new movies based on old television series lately, and we did that with Leave It to Beaver too. We did most of the filming here on the street for the new Leave It to Beaver movie. We even built the Cleavers a brand new house. It's the one on the driver's side with the basketball hoop over the garage. You might have also seen this neighborhood in the comedy The Burbs, which starred Tom Hanks and Carrie Fisher, or in Dragnet, in which Tom Hanks co-starred with Dan Aykroyd. The greenhouse on the driver's side was where Nancy Drew lived in the Nancy Drew Mysteries. Next door, Andy Griffith lived as Matlock in that Viacom television series, in his cream-colored house with blue trim. The tan house here was the house of the Seven Gables from the motion picture, The House of the Seven Gables, which starred Vincent Price, a name synonymous with scary movies. In fact, right now we're heading up the mountainside to Dante's Peak. Even though it's a dormant volcano, we still keep seismologists here to monitor the activity and make sure that we won't have any problems when we bring our guests through here. Well, now that's strange. I don't see any of those guys out here. They're usually running around taking readings and doing all sorts of things. That's really weird. They even left a robot out here. They must just be on a break. Oh, okay, we're gonna go ahead. You know, Mike, since we didn't see any of them, maybe we should go in this mine shaft up here. Just to be safe. Look, on the side of that mountain there, lava has seeped out. That's not a good sign. This place could erupt at any minute. Oh no. We're heading right into the heart of a lava flow. Hang on, everyone! If you get dizzy, just close your eyes. What you have just experienced is Dante's Peak, another innovative special effect from Universal. A Of course, we stayed level through there while the walls rotated around us. In the movie Dante's Peak, Pierce Brosnan and Linda Hamilton raced to get out of the path of a violent volcanic eruption. Dante's Peak is currently erupting on the big screen, and it's a really exciting movie, so don't miss it. Well, today we've had the privilege of taking you behind the scenes of the biggest and busiest movie studio in the world. We hope you've gained some insight into the ingenuity and creativity of all the artists and craftspeople who put their skills together to bring you your favorite movies and television shows. Coming up on my side of the tram is an overview of the San Fernando Valley. The cluster of 10 buildings out there in the center of things is the Warner Brothers Studios. Just beyond those are the Disney Studios and NBC. And all of this was the view that E.T. saw from a different angle when he began his adventure on Earth. The time now is about 12:30, and this might be a good time to get out your brochures and decide what you're going to do next here at Universal. When we were done on our lower lot, I mentioned the attractions that you can get to by taking our Starway escalator down. On our upper lot, we have other live shows and attractions, and bursting onto the scene here at Universal Studios Hollywood is the newest and slimiest interactive adventure ever. Totally Nickelodeon brings to life TV's #1 network for kids with a unique mixture of music, dance, Nickelodeon characters, and audience participation games. Kids, you won't want to miss it. The large tan building just ahead of us is the Universal Amphitheater. We have concerts in there, and that's where the Academy of Country Music Awards show was broadcast live a couple of weeks ago. We're pulling in now. You'll be leaving us soon. Before you do, please make sure you have all of your personal belongings with you, especially your children. Thank you for taking our tram tour with us today. You've been a terrific audience. Enjoy the rest of your day here at Universal Studios Hollywood. Again, my name is Dory.